What's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind. As you can see, this is the Blu-ray that I have of this particular film. Now this is a follow-up to Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge and Mortal Kombat Legends Battle of the Realms. Now these three films were all direct to video. So yeah, this is like an animated Mortal Kombat film, and it's very similar to Scorpion's Revenge and Battle of the Realms too, as well. It's like very gruesome, over the top, like blood and gore and so on. It's like it could be so over the top that it's like actually funny, you know. You know. Now I must admit, I don't think it wasn't as good as the previous two films, but I thought it was still pretty cool. Now this time it's directed by Rick Morales, and it's about Kano and the Black Dragon mercenaries who are trying to take over Earthrealm. Now it's one of the things in the film itself that I think is kind of confusing about it, but if I go into it too much it'll kind of spoil it, because it borrows a lot of things from Mortal Kombat 11, and if I even touch on one of the things you'll kind of see what's going on with the film, so I don't want to spoil that. Now, the film does really focus on Kenshi himself. He's really the, I guess you could say the protagonist of the film. But at the same time, you do have Kwa Lane, who's in here too as well. You know, the elder Sub-Zero. He's in this particular film too as well. But it does really focus on Kenshi, because at first you can see how arrogant and cocky he is, and he think he can beat anybody. Then he gets into this conflict with a couple of Kano's mercenaries, Tremor. I forget what some of the other ones were named, and it's Tremor who actually kind of do something to defeat him and so on. I don't want to spoil it, but I just leave it at that. And then eventually he teams up, Kenshi himself teams up with Shang Tsung to help Shang Tsung find the sword, because Shang Tsung himself is actually under Kano's authority too as well. So Kano has Shang Tsung actually working for him, and I think that's kind of odd. But eventually Shang Tsung teams up with Kenshi to go find the sword, and that's when Kenshi actually gets his blind, he gets hit by this bright light and it makes him blind. At the same time, that's when he gets his sword too as well. So yeah, that's mostly what the film itself is really about. But at the same time, you have this idea of Sub-Zero, where Lang himself, he's retired, he's very old and so on. He's kind of hidden. He doesn't no longer use his powers because of something that he did in the past with his his eyesight type power, his freeze powers basically, and that's why he gave up on using his powers. And so that's basically what the film is all about. And at the end, it's basically about Kenshi just seeking revenge against the person who blinded him, and at the same time he was Sub-Zero or whatever. They had to take out Kano and his mercenaries from trying to overrun the Earthrealm. Now the film, like I say, it's pretty intense. It got some awesome fights in it. It's very similar to, I said, the previous two films. It's very bloody and over the top, gory. So like I said, it's so over the top, the blood, heads been splattered and bodies been blowed up and all that kind of stuff, that it can be funny. And I heard when you look at the features of this particular film, it does say that the directors and so on, they did say they was trying to make it funny, the actual fatalities and kills and so on. They were trying to make them funny and so on. They actually admit that they try to do that in this particular film. But I do think these are still some pretty cool awesome Mortal Kombat films. Like I say, one of the things with the story that makes it kind of confusing, if I touch on it, it'll kind of spoil it. It's it pulls a lot of stuff from Mortal Kombat 11. So I just leave it at that. I don't want to get into it too much. But yeah, Kano himself is actually the antagonist of this particular story. So as well, but you do have familiar characters like Shang Tsung shows up. I just touched on that. I want to reveal everybody who shows up, because there are some hidden ones, and of course you can see ones that are expected too as well. But in the end, I thought it was just okay. I want to touch on some the voice actors and all of them too, but I just leave it at that, because I wasn't really too familiar with a lot of them. But in Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind, I'm gonna give this a C. I thought it was a decent film. It was okay. I don't think it was as good as the previous two films, I said, Scorpion's Legend, which I thought was awesome, and Battle of the Realms was even pretty cool too as well. But I'm giving this just a C. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.